both these teams. A statement of intent, Johnny, as we get ourselves into game number 1.
Yeah, this is where it all starts now. Queso can keep up that momentum. Finished so strong in that last game. Endpoint just fighting to stay in it towards the end, but unable to really create as many quality opportunities compared to Queso. And it feels inevitable when Endpoint are relying on seicko to either create or score every single goal.
Oh, good shot. Start us off here. Rise. More than capable of being there, and expect to see an awful lot of what you just saw. Demos galore in our opening series. Maybe we're going to get even more physical play. We already know that it's been very difficult just to find a safe spot on this field. It's caused an awful lot of action, though. If you're forced to keep on moving, it means you might as well start moving towards that ball. Joy already up. Ceiling. Couldn't find his own self-pass, but he did find Rise. Look at the respect that was given to that by Endpoint.
Yeah, Endpoint only really paying attention to Joyo there.
Oh, there's no boost. Metsu, you got no chance, mate.
Yeah, good luck. Joyo making a really smart play there, just forcing a 50-50 against the player that he knew was the last man. As Metsunoris positioning up on the wall like this makes it very difficult to cover those bottom corners. Joyo showing that he's not just a bag of mechanics, he's got the brains as well. Smart play to open the scoring.
About a minute in. Still waiting for Vatira to get his first points. And a good spectator role. There we go. As he gets himself a save, and he gets himself 2 of those, I believe, contact points that you get there. Joyo tries to get over nice and quick. seicko guides the ball away from him. seicko again clears. Vatira already waiting in that midfield. What a battle they had in the opening series. seicko was stopping Vatira. Vatira was stopping seicko. Both of them still able to get some wonder goals out there. I'm expecting to see some more of that here this time around.
Yeah, it's awesome to see that defensive masterclass from Vatira. So many times you're able to read what seicko's up to and stop all these shots that many a goalkeeper from all around the world would have struggled to save. And that's going to be 2-0 Queso. Joyo once again, that guy leading the attack in the Mustang. He's been pretty disgusting today, Shogun.
Oh, I'm going to let you have it. All right, there you go.
I feel like I can only really get away with that one.
You can get with that in game 1. All right. It has been as well. Team Queso getting away with an awful lot, especially with those nets. Endpoint just haven't quite found the right rhythm. If they are going to be this aggressive over in the midfield and try to keep their players moving, they've got to start winning some more over in that midfield as well. Infield pass, Metsa. Oh, did it. And did not turn the ball in when it is desperately needed to be scored.
Yeah, that's just got to be a goal. There's no other way about it. You're undefended. From that range, you know, pick the top corner out every single time. Except this time for Metsunoris. With the quality striking coming out of Queso and the limited opportunities that Endpoint have had for most of the games in this series and the last one, yeah, you got to be putting those away. As Relic Wave now a little bit too far forward. We've seen a fair bit of that today with players trying to get that almost like mid-game cheat. Just get a little bit closer to the ball. Start that race. That is also important. It's great control. Rise. Keeping the ball in the corner, not giving seicko any chance to dunk him and get the first goal for Endpoint.
It certainly has become a little bit of a meta game as well, where both teams are cheating up more and more and more. Just rely, though, on at least your teammate getting a ball that's going to bounce over to you in a nice position. If not, you are well out. As Rise again gets there in time. Relating Wave calls away Metsa. 2 minutes, 2 goals needed. Win 1, however, the shot earlier on from Metsa not quite finding the target. Relating Wave, good opening challenge. It's going to bounce awkwardly. seicko looks to try and provide. You see a confirmation of this, but did seicko end the previous series having at least participated in every single goal?
Oh, what?
Wave, mate!
Again, Relating Wave just jumps early. I've got to wonder, like, what is he jumping for here? He's on the wrong side of the ball.
I think he got, like, jump scared or something. Like, it bounced down right from him. He goes, and then just jumped.
Man. I mean, it looked pretty bad the first time around. It looked even worse on the replay. It's a shame for Relating Wave because he is that guy who's always so consistent in defense, but he puts in his second own goal in just 2 best of 7s. He had one on Forbidden Temple, I think, yeah, game 2 of the first series. And he's just rushing himself. He just doesn't give himself enough time to react. I mean, how are you supposed to read what exactly what is going to happen there with the bounce. It's not possible. And attempting to go early is just asking for things like that to happen.
We've seen as well from Queso a willingness to go for what I dub the flying nothing on occasion. Just, hi, I'm here. Do you believe I'm going to do something with this? And it has made Endpoint quite jumpy at occasion. Same would also be said for Team Queso, but they only really have that reaction against Seiko. Everyone else happy to go and meet. Seiko's got away with a little bit more, as he is going to be called in here. If this team is going to make a comeback, they needed something from this. Instead, Vatira looks for the shot.
There it is.
Doesn't get there, but again, the flying nothing.
It's the shot that you have to respect. And Metsonoris can see Vatira jumping up before him here. He tries to predict where Vatira is going to touch this, and Vatira just lets it go right by him. And it's a good idea from Vatira there, because if he gets a very, very slight touch on the ball there, it's going to fly on target. If he misses it, the goalkeeper could just as easily be faked. So going for the absolute smallest pixel on the end of the ball is definitely the right idea, and puts them 4-0 up in game 1.
Team Queso coming out firing here in game number 1, and we do have confirmation. Seiko has been involved in every single goal.
Every goal.
I think this is a game where Endpoint, this kind of shows what their reliance is. This is a game where Seiko, we didn't really see much of him, but Metza and Relating Wave, a rare stumble, but this was not the level we've got used to those two.
Indeed. I mean, it's a playstyle that has worked for them in the past several times, but we rarely see a 100% goal participation in Seiko. He's always one of the highest when it comes to the goal participation stat, but 100% is not acceptable at this level. In between 8 games now, you've got to have Metsonoris and Relating Wave combined for at least 1 goal. And they have, of course, been taking turns being that player combining with Seiko. But Rocket League is far too fluid of a game to just have one man creating and scoring all of your chances. Relating Wave and Metsa have got to be more clinical. Metsonoris missing the best chance of the game at a relevant moment in this game as well. They ended up losing 5-0, but it was only 2-0 when Metsonoris hit the post, which was a wide open top corner right next to it. Had they scored that, you know, definitely the feel of the game changes significantly with the time that they had remaining.
I can tell you right now, there's a very happy Wave punk out there at the moment, because Joyo, 4 goals to himself, and we already know that Wave does love the Mustang. Well, seeing that Mustang #1 with 4 goals would certainly make Wave a very, very happy boy. But can Queso keep this up? And more importantly, can Endpoint figure this out? Because that was a very poor opening game by their own standards. They need answers here as we head over to Forbidden Temple. We see what exactly can they do. Can they avoid, most importantly for me, getting stuck in those 2v1s? Because we're getting a lot of times, like here, it's a bit less of a situation compared to the ones previously I would have talked about. There's a lot of times where the ball is in the air and there's just one player on the goal line that has got to wait and see whether or not he's going to get hit away.
It was mechanical mainly in the last game, where Endpoint fell short. Great coverage at the top corner there from Joyo to just have more parts of the goal defended. And now look at the transition from Queso. It's Joyo to rise to the back of the net. That's right after he's made 1 save. Air dribbles over Relating Wave. Gap at the back leaves the open net. Rise takes it.
Team Queso continue to march on here, looking unstoppable in the bracket reset. First goal to them. And it's Endpoint that really need to just snap this streak. Now, Team Queso have got going for themselves, because look at the confidence. Joyo does not care right now. Nobody on Queso cares. You might see this as a matter of formality at this point. Unless Endpoint can start to just fight back. Relating Wave, good challenge from him. Needs a second one, gets it. Seiko steals the 100 boost. He tries to turn around. We're seeing as well from Endpoint just how far up that midfield line is. Left them open to the counterattacks, also leaves them an opportunity.
Oh, no.
And that one was too wide even before the save.
It's just not good enough. Again, the shooting going wayward, and you have to hit that past the goalkeeper, of course. There's no point shooting at one of the defenders on the goal line, but that really didn't look like it had a lot of pace on it. It didn't look like it was headed towards the bottom corner or close.
That was dangerous.
Touches, they're not ideal for Endpoint, and they've got to just get that together as soon as possible. They showed great guts to fight back from 3-1 down in the first series, but they don't pick it up soon. They're going to be in that exact same position in the second series as well.
Back out. Here's Seiko. And it's another bad shot. Follow-up. Here is Metza.
Okay.
And we go from bad shots to the best one Metza could have taken.
I mean, that's an attempted shot into a very precise part of the goal there from Seiko. And how about that from Metsonaris? So everybody getting their one miss out of the system maybe for Endpoint. Relating Wave, then Metsonaris, and now Seiko as well. Of course, the important stat to acknowledge is once again Seiko involved in the goal.
There. He might get himself another one here. Demo actually means that Seiko's got to track back, and Rise was also after Relating Wave. Story is still the same here. From Team Queso, they are not willing to give up on a strategy, and that's because it has been working for them. Here's Rise. Couldn't get the ball back out. Vatira pops the ball up, looks to try and follow by himself. Seiko couldn't stop him, but he does get enough contact on the card to make sure that Vatira couldn't progress any further forwards. Joyo struggling over here. It's going to invite Endpoint back in. Bounces out. Shot, and Seiko. Can't tell if he was trying to play the ball or if he was trying to play to get rid of Vatira. Either way, Vatira, good enough. Make sure he goes carrying away. Back and forth over here. Metza, I get scared now. I believe in Metza, but the amount of own goals I've seen, I don't fully believe it until I see it go fully wide.
Yeah, if that was Relating Wave in the day he's having, we know exactly where the ball was headed. But Metsonaris does well with the back pass. Really important game here for Endpoint, just to prove to themselves that they are still the team in control of this grand final. You wonder, will there be a fall off in form at some point from Team Queso, who have shown unreal stamina this event. So many games played, so many series played across this weekend. They are still producing some of the best Rocket League they have produced all season and all split lock.
Joyo with Seiko as the last one back. Before Relating Wave came back from the demo. Bounce down. Rise to himself. Seiko's having none of it. Came over to meet him and slapped the ball away. Looks to get to the opposite side of the field. It's on the far side. Metza chasing forwards. Doesn't get the bounce that Relating Wave would have liked to have seen. Seiko takes his time, picks up the 100 boost, and Team Queso with the anti-Seiko strategy. Get there after his first touch, and don't let him see a second. Look at how well Team Queso are holding on to this midfield. It is so difficult for Endpoint to get any sort of sustained pressure on the opposite side. Are they going to try and find Joyo out of position? There was at least an attempt. Shot drops down, and Rise makes sure of it. Metza with his own, and Rise is there for the second.
Great saves by Queso. Something that's really impressed us in both series so far. Now Metza dodges the demo, gets back into position to make the huge clear. Key defensive plays being made at both ends of the pitch.
Queso looks like the most tilting team in the world to play against right now. There's demo after demo after demo after demo. I mean, Rise is over in the corner attacking Relating Wave. What's Relating Wave doing the play? He doesn't know. He just wants to make sure that Relating Wave doesn't get a play anymore. And he just turns back around. Team Queso all over them at the moment.
Uh-oh.
Might get themselves a chance off the backboard, and Rise backs down. Vatira might have caught him off.
Wait.
But Vatira wasn't there. And now the counter-attack. Oh! Go! 2-1! And Team Queso finally slip, and they slip in dramatic fashion.
Vatira did not expect the completely free touch. It came towards him, but he wasn't ready. He was expecting somebody to hit that. And what looked like it might end up being an easy goal for Team Queso goes right into their net, with Seiko again getting on the score sheet.
I don't think I've ever seen such a high percentage. You're definitely scoring here if you take this. Followed up by you've conceded within such a short amount of time. Joyo tasked with keeping this game alive. But Endpoint have got themselves back, and Team Queso might have gifted it to them.
It was like Game of Thrones at the end there, as I think Relating Wave attempted to clear the ball and just centered it. So it was a completely free shot for Queso. Then another free shot for Queso off the backboard. Ended up being missed. And Vatira wasn't ready for said miss. Seiko beats him to it with just a goal straight down the middle. Just honestly, if you hit the nameplates and showed that to any Rocket League fan, they'd probably guess that they're looking at maximum diamond gameplay. Like it was just an absolute calamity of errors. But it can happen when one mistake leads to another, and then the next player can't read the play, because how are you supposed to anticipate all these mistakes? It just gets out of control. Endpoint get the job done. They got the win. They've tied up the series.
I mean, this has been a series where a lot of situations like that have been turning points. Go all the way back to that 3-goal loss that somehow Endpoint managed to just throw away. Are we now going to look at that particular play in much the same way? I'm going to find out here. Team Queso, though, proving themselves to be extraordinarily resilient. I don't think it's going to affect them all too much. There's Rise. Meteor takes over, relating wave off that backboard. See more and more backboard defense, and actually a player jumping out of the way of Joyo. Good yet again. Here's that. Well, that's what they would like to have seen in the last game.
Yeah, this is ideal. Joyo to Rise. Hard hit. Seiko misses his touch. Relating wave also going for the same ball. Doesn't make contact. As long as one of them gets that, it's fine. It's not even a bad double commit, but you can't have everybody miss this. Joyo just places the open net to open the scoring.
And Team Queso happy to get the goal back after how the last game finished. And despite getting the last game, we haven't seen Endpoint find their own way of taking control just yet. It's been mostly them against the whims of Team Queso. Joyo again finds his attempted play stuffed out by Metza, who almost got it back out to Seiko. Vatira with Rise out on the bump, gets at least one player. Vatira finds the next, and after all that play, Joyo's chilling at the back, wondering, oh, okay, you might have actually wanted me there.
Yeah, he didn't want to risk attacking that one. It's speculative bumps. Well, speculative to move up and expect a double bump to land, even if it is Rise who's going for it. He was very good at landing those, even on players who know he's coming. Look at the Vatira ahead of the play, trying to get a boost steal. And now a bump on the back wall lands it. But this is unconventional from Queso, actually driving ahead of the player who's coming in for the back wall clear, just parking in his way, denying Seiko access to the ball, and giving Rise an open net.
I don't think I've ever actually seen that, especially not at this level.
Genius.
Fantastic. I mean, the Team Queso have utilized now being bumped themselves in order to create goals. Rise is already in the backfield. You can't possibly account for where Rise is playing at the moment. He just goes wherever he feels like, and you've got to try and figure it out. Here he is now, holding the midfield. Got second touch, but Metza couldn't stop it. Actually, that drops down so dangerously. Here's Metza, finds the shot. Well played by him, but the ball just dropped over to him.
And no assist for Seiko. We've done it. We've got a goal that Seiko didn't create or score. Metza Norris, the one to take it, just pounces on the loose ball and sends it home. Endpoint getting chances to score. It looks like Queso might be starting to at least drop off slightly when it comes to their defensive consistency. That's welcome news to Endpoint, who in the first series had a hard time creating chances in a few of the games.
Yeah, Endpoint had a lot of games where they looked like they had the momentum that Queso have had most recently. Didn't find many goal-scoring chances for it. Pops out again. Metza wants to test them, see whether or not they've still got a few more mistakes to give. Actually drops it way towards Rise. Didn't expect that challenge to come through. Metza to himself, 20 boost. Endpoint are starting to find their own rhythm. Joyo back into midfield. Seiko gets himself reboosted, sees Wave on the far side, but realizes he wants to play this a bit quicker. Tried to go underneath, now off the backboard. Joyo in a rough position, needed the help. And Vatira happy to provide, but we do not see Endpoint really diving in for much of anything. They're taking their time, they're picking their spots. To try and see if they can boost Starve, but there's the clear that they want, and there's Rise behind the line. That's how quickly it falls apart.
Yeah, Queso plays such a sneaky game here with that first man, getting in front of the play. Something that's so rare to see in Rocket League. Target man strats by Queso. Vatira spots an opportunity to advance, and he flicks it over one. Seiko, again, the man to deny. His French friend on other days. French foe today. Seiko, double. Doesn't make contact. Relating Waves got the ball past one. Vatira's there to clear.
This is won by Joyo, but Relating Wave instantly turns. It's become a battle of pace now between both teams. I always just hear demos just out in the background. Somebody's getting hit from somewhere. Metza drops it again. Relating Wave couldn't get there before Rise. Now Seiko Taz were trying to hold that midfield. Did it from a very tough angle as well. That's a infield option. Took it, but that's such a floating ball that it leaves it open for Joyo off the backboard. Can he get there? Yes, he could, and you needed to stop him, but Seiko also just as quick for Tira. Quick boost check on him. And just enough to make sure that that ball was played away. Back out to Metzer. That was very dangerous by Vatira. He has got away with it this time, but his team's 1-goal lead does look a bit tenuous.
Yeah, that looked like a really good chance for Metzer, but he absolutely skied it. And now time's really getting away from Endpoint. They were patiently waiting for that opportunity that they have just missed. Now they have to just go all guns blazing in the closing seconds.
20 seconds now. Seiko picks his spot. Look for the backboard. Rise gets enough contact. That's so much time wasted off the clock. Boost stolen away from him, however. He still plays the ball over the top. Rise, the thorn in the side of Endpoint, gets more time off the clock. Now he needs to see if his team can just get rid of it. Metzer off the infield, couldn't get there. Just out of his reach. And now it's up to Queso to find the ball to the floor. And they've done exactly that.
Yeah, we saw a couple of chances at the end of that game for Endpoint, but they weren't able to hit the target, not even testing the keeper at the end of this game. Team Queso back in front, back in control, still trying to be the first team to win from the lower bracket in Europe in this entire split. Looking pretty good to do it so far, because I don't see enough threats from Endpoint. I feel like Queso are just... I mean, we got the exact same shots in this game, but Queso's look a little more dangerous, a little bit harder to defend against. And yeah, I don't know. Endpoint look like they're going to need to do it again from behind by the looks of things.
Yeah, for me, Endpoint look a little bit figured out on the side of Team Queso. We saw just how comfortable they feel. If this is going to go anywhere, Endpoint need to figure out Rise. They know he's going to be there. It's just always there. They now need to figure out, okay, what can we do with this? Because Rise is always going to be exactly where he wants to be. And that usually, in your side of the field, picking up your 100 boost and or just trying to demo you whilst you haven't got eyes on him. But that offers as well Endpoint a couple of other opportunities around the field. It's just whether or not now can they take advantage of those, or a Team Queso just far too slippery to just hold back in their side of the field and find their chances. And more importantly, can Team Queso continue to keep Seiko this quiet?
Yeah, they are doing a great job of locking up Seiko, putting challenges in early, just getting goal side. On every time Seiko's got the ball, just goal side. Just make sure that you're at least blocking him or the ball. It doesn't really matter which, because if Seiko's going for a flip reset, you fly in front of him, miss the ball, and then clip him, at least you're reducing the chance that he's going to be able to get back to it. And that's one thing that Queso have continued to do very well. They're just such an unpredictable team offensively. Much harder to read as the series goes on and on. Compared to Endpoint, we're playing a bit more traditional, a bit more of a standard style. Queso, especially in that last game, using so many plays where you've got players ahead of the play, completely out of sight, making either bump plays or boost steals, passing options available. That's not really something we see Endpoint do as often as their relating wave, trying to get fast recovery. He looks like he was going to get there. He didn't have to. Seiko also able to block a shot.
It's two teams where the questions about their offense are usually so much different. Whenever you see a player like Seiko, even on Dignitas as well, the type of goals that they produce, as we do see Seiko take the shot, that one's far and away. But every time we see Seiko's plays, there's always that, how did you manage that? But when Queso are playing their offense, the question is usually, why are you doing that? Why on earth are you over there?
Never how are you doing that. Well, actually, often how are you as well, but not in the sense of worrying about the players. Really want to see more of a long-term plan for Endpoint in these attacks. It looks like their plan right now is, well, let's just see if we can create a scoring chance and then go for the top corner. And they're not really thinking about surviving in the offense. They're not really thinking about, oh, wait a minute. They're thinking about own goals.
You've got competition.
Where did this one come from? That looked like it was just going to be a routine clear. And then all of a sudden, Rise just slammed in his own net for absolutely no reason. What is he?
That's smart. Rise figured out he's getting a bit predictable, okay? He's reset everyone's mental when it comes to how Rise plays.
Oh my goodness.
This has had as much fun as I've had. This Grand Final's been a bit goofy at times.
Oh my. I knew Rise was, you know, a big fan of some of the North American teams and looking forward to meeting his idols in NA, but I didn't realize he'd been watching their replays in preparation for this Grand Final. My goodness. Some of these own goals. Endpoint are getting it done. Somehow they're still looking like they're going to deadlock this. Despite, I think, just lacking firepower and offense to summarize the problem they've got.
Let's say they do. Let's say this ends as it is right now. Their 2 wins would have come from the state of that own goal by Rise and the state of that offense we saw earlier on to give it away by Team Queso when they had the open backboard shot. It is Queso have been. They've given up some screamers.
I'd love to.
Oh,
hear
there
the
we
reaction.
go. Good shot.
Oh, that is a very good finish by Seiko, and the placement to the correct side. We saw this in Neo Tokyo 2 times actually. This exact same play. Seiko boost steal comes right back in for the infield pass. This seems to be a pretty consistent way for Endpoint to set up chances to score. Trying to do it off a boost steal, trying to do it off a bump, not just out of nowhere from a standard play. That's why these long-term plans for Endpoint, I think, would make a lot more sense. Trying to place their shots into areas of the net that aren't necessarily more likely to go in first try, but definitely more likely to result in continued pressure. And they can get those boost steals, they can get those opportunities to pass. This is less likely to work. You know, an infield pass with no setup, far too obvious. Queso have it covered. But what they don't have is any goal to work with here, apart from Rise's own goal, which obviously doesn't help. Endpoint up by 2. They'll be pretty surprised to be up by 2 given how this game has gone. Queso's still a real threat, especially late in games. And this is where Endpoint need to just try and get that time wasted, let the clock do the work for them, play as safely as possible. They've already thrown a 3-goal lead on this exact same map in the first series. 2-goal lead, not feeling safe.
That's a smart play here. Can't throw a 3-goal lead. You don't get the 3-goal lead.
Genius.
Genius.
Textbook by Endpoint.
Watira looking to try and force the pace over here. Off the wall, Rating Wave happily there, although this is dangerous, and Metza don't believe in any of it. Now Seiko passes it over to him. And
wow.
there you go, utilizing the 2v1.
That's phenomenal by Metza Norris, giving Seiko the hat trick, but all Metza in the past year, really all Seiko had to do is drive into the ball. How perfectly Metza delivered it to him. But he said, you know, you can't throw a 3-goal lead if you don't get one. Well, they've got one now. Let's see if they can hold it.
Definitely got a lot less time here to throw this one away. 50 seconds. Metza currently on the ball, but here is Joyo. We'll have options, but so do Endpoint, and that Endpoint option is always a relating wave in the midfield. Metza looks to set up yet again. 30 seconds here. That could be Endpoint getting their second win of the series. Metza back to himself. He at least deserves a goal. He's been provided twice. At least deserves one of these, but it might not be coming his way. And again, we look back to, as funny as it was, the Rise own goal. I don't know where it's come from, but it's something that has happened twice now to Team Queso, where they just give up a goal, and it's just like, how?
Yeah, especially this one. You can see what he was trying to do. He's trying to obviously hit the ball across the goal, not into the goal, but underestimated his own accuracy as he snugged the very, very tight angle. And I think interestingly, we've got Vatira going to be switching cars here. That is a big change because all of the losses we've seen Queso handle pretty well so far. Haven't had any car changes, haven't had any timeouts. They've just gone right back into the game and kept doing what they're doing. But now Vatira changing car. Is he feeling it? Starting to feel a little bit uncomfortable, a little bit inconsistent mechanically. Or maybe he just wants to try one of his other presets, wants to see...
maybe Joyo's managed to sell him on the power of the Mustang.
Oh, if we see 2 Mustangs, it's definitely Endpoint series. I don't believe... I'm not a believer in the double Mustang. Joyo's like, he's trying to convince me that the one Mustang is the way to go. And, you know, he's been impossible to read. He's definitely impossible to read today. So eliminating a lot of the wayward touches, eliminating a lot of the
All right, you're going to be shocked at the card that we've got from Vatira, by the way. It's an Octane.
Oh, okay.
It's to me, though, the best Octane decal that is out there.
Beautiful.
Halo Anniversary one. I love that one so much.
Yeah, you're right. We're seeing a bit more standard from Vatira. Fennec to Octane, very normal switch up there. Vatira going to try play, I think, a little bit faster. The control seemingly not working for him in the Fennec. That's a great play by Metznaris. Vatira's right there for it. And he's right there again to beat Metza to the ball. Here's Vatira's first attempt. No reset. Even tried there. His first aerial attack in the Octane.
Yeah, something a little bit different from them. My eyes are always just on Metza, though. Rotation does control on him, but he's got no say in this one whatsoever. Just forced to sit and watch as Vatira pulls this out of the bag.
Yeah, Relating Wave didn't read the bounce. He's expecting that to curve around the back wall, come towards him. It bounces clean off, and Seiko has absolutely no chance. With placement like this from Vatira, how are you supposed to react to an accurate bouncer into the top corner like this? Now Vatira's offloaded to Rise. This is a double down into the bar. It's still in the area, but Relating Wave takes the ball clear. That's not the same Relating Wave we saw earlier. Rushing his touches and accidentally knocking it into his own net. That was composure.
I feel like part of that as well might come from if Relating Wave is getting a better read on Rise, because he was the one that was being chased almost as much as anybody else on Endpoint. It just seemed like he was doing things to avoid that possibility of the bump coming in. Now they might feel a little bit more comfortable. He can start playing his own game yet again. Here's Vatira with Rise up in support. Rise looks for Metza, and Metza darted forward to make sure there was no chance of it going in.
That's an unreal save by Metza to dodge a mid-air demo, get around that, and still make a save on a Vatira aerial play. That's fantastic stuff. Probably the best 1v2 defensive play we've seen all day. He's in another one briefly here, not for long, and he did in fact get out and deal with it without wasting any time. Can Endpoint transition. Good defense is not all you need when you're 1-0 down.
The only issue I see for Endpoint is that this has been a consistent. And as good as you've got at the 1v2 defense between Metza and Relating Wave, there's only so many times they can deal with it before something happens, a misplay on their part, or more likely they're just going to get outplayed by the two players. It's such a risky strategy that requires so much trust from everybody over an Endpoint. But they've not abandoned it. And this late into a series, we're not going to see them abandon it. They know what works for them. Rise tried to catch Metznaris sleeping. Metza already there. There's Seiko one-on-one against Rise, and Seiko, a bit wasteful actually, didn't catch that ball the way he would like to.
Yeah, he was expecting more of a passive play from Rise. Rise just lunging forward. And now
there's no one back.
Joyo's going to get an open net. Rise assisting him well. That was actually a great catch by Rise. I don't think anyone on Endpoint was expecting Rise to be able to just control that ball up on the sidewall there. Relating Wave is trying to send to the ball. The big bounce actually just gets completely denied by Rise. Keeping that ball cam on. Keep making plays.
I think could have finished that sentence at nobody was expecting Rise. And that would very much encapsulate what this series has been like for Endpoint. He's tricky to read for his team and for the opponent's team. Joyo off that wall. I'm going to get there, and Metza clears. Vatira might have the infield option. He does take it, and Rise's shot is blocked.
Now we had the same position here for Queso that Endpoint had last game. Never mind. Well, it's the exact same thing. 3 goals. But what is going on in defense?
Metza?
Or Metznaris?
Buddy?
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Well, there's absolutely no excuse for that one. You know, some of the own goals that we've seen today have been from positions where there's limited information for the defender. They don't know if they're being rapidly approached by an opposing player. They don't know if they're running out of time to make a key touch. Metznaris had all the cards there. He could see exactly what was happening, see the danger, and he just completely aired the clear. I don't know why he was rushing it in the first place. That was just absolutely bizarre.
We said earlier on that I couldn't see, well, I said earlier on that I couldn't see Metznaris ever doing a death slam. I think today is maybe the good day to not have those cameras on, because if there was going to be a death slam, it would have been there.
I think, yeah, he'll probably start off, as all desk slammers do, with the hand being raised and the thought of the slam, but then also the thought about the pain that will occur after the slam.
Maybe he's a smart desk slammer. Maybe he's got like a small pillow around that he can like put down, then slam onto the desk.
See, these are the veteran plays. You know, that's probably what Mets and Ars is going to bring to a team, a young team like Endpoint. Maybe Queso can be taking notes as well. It's like, asking these LAN veterans, what do you need to do to bring to LAN with you? Mets is going to say, well, a pillow. They're thinking, yeah, that's smart. So you can sleep in the flight. And Mets is saying, no, so you can slam the desk and not get a wrist injury. It's little things like that that really, benefit the teams with LAN veterans.
We are coming towards the end of this game, a game that is going to give Team Queso double championship point. And they've just thrown Endpoint off at times. Endpoint uncharacteristically full of mistakes. Might be another one here. Seiko will clear. But the amount of times that goals have gone in, and myself, yourself, and maybe everyone at home, Johnny, have just been a little bit flabbergasted at how on earth has that gone in. It's been a little bit too often here, but Team Queso have been the benefactors.
Yeah, there was talk about maybe the momentum running out, maybe the energy running out for Queso after this long lower bracket run and all these series, all these games you've had to play this weekend and especially today. But it's actually Endpoint who seem to be slipping up here, letting Queso back into this one. We have seen, of course, that one own goal from Rise in the last game, so mistakes from Queso as well. But the kind of mistakes we're seeing from Endpoint here, especially this complete whiff at the end of the game from Mesa. Extremely strange.
That one we will not blame them for. The one that we just saw, you're not stopping that from Vatira, but
yeah, the first goals are fair enough.
Weird.
I feel like even the second goal, you can say that that's fair enough because I think Rise just completely caught them off guard with a great interception. But obviously they did throw the ball away, so they're definitely partly to blame for that second goal. But the third goal is just a clean whiff. Like there's no reason to miss this. There have been a few weird plays like this where inconsistency starting to creep in. Definitely a grueling series, and playing against Queso for this long is going to do that to you because you've always got to be wondering, okay, where's Rise? Where's Joyo? Is Joyo actually hitting that, or is it a prank? What is Vatira doing? How many resets has he got? It's stressful, and it's starting to, I think, even get to Endpoint, who have been in so many grand finals, played so many series in grand finals. Queso showing experience far beyond their years and far beyond where most of us would have expected them to be at this point in their Rocket League careers.
And Queso have got something which many Rocket League teams struggle to have, and that is a game plan. They know what they want to do. They're going to send Rise downfield and just let him cause havoc. And we get games like we have seen throughout this entire series where there are weird mistakes, absolutely. But also you see some of the mechanics that were used. It's players going for things earlier than they would typically like to because they think they've got to. They don't know where Rise is. That bump could happen. You might as well go now than leave it the split second extra and suddenly get demoed and you're not going to play the ball at all. I think just that little change where you're doing plays and you're doing mechanics in a way that you don't tend to practice throws off a team like Endpoint and pretty much everybody else in the world, where it does make him look a little bit silly at times.
Well, here we go. Can Endpoint bring it to another Game 7? We had one earlier. They came back from 3-1 down in that series to make it happen. Now it's 3-2. Double championship point from Team Queso. It's their first championship point. The last series they won was only to get into the reset bracket. Endpoint starting off with the first pressure play, easily dealt with by Joyo.
Now, Endpoint now not only have to win this Game 6, but they've got to take down Queso, where Queso seem to thrive the most in the ace match. Overtime, ace match, anything that requires them to be clutch. Team Queso always up to the task. We'll see here how they can do on their championship point. Vatira avoids being bumped. Metzer as well heading on in. Double commit, relating wave calls off, and actually almost got it off the crossbar. That's going to drop down. Metzer's got to wait for his chance. Chooses to play for time, realized that Seiko was going to be late on the rotation out.
Oh, it's a bit unfortunate for relating wave. He almost scored directly, and the bounce down actually took the ball away from him as well. Endpoint, we've been critical if they're striking this game and this series at times. That was very close to the mark on the first try.
Oh, the infield off the post. So Endpoint have hit the crossbar. Team Queso have hit the post. Both these teams getting closer and closer to this opening goal. Seiko, not the best first touch. It's over to Rise. Expect to see Seiko continue to loiter downfield, however, as Joyo almost caught Metzer out. Said Metzer, very good shadow defense from him. Seiko ends up missing the ball. How rare do we usually say that? Rise underneath. Who's the support? He's just going to keep trying to go by himself. Relating wave. Booms the ball downfield. Vatira, he knows that there could be pressure behind him. Has to get up there early. Seiko continues to move forwards. Big breath here as both these teams vying for midfield control. It's Relating wave that ends up winning that. Bounces out again on Metzer. Only on 5 boost. Leaves it. Seiko back to Relating wave. Back to Seiko. The pass was behind him. So Metzer, Norris now tasked with trying to keep this play on. In comes Seiko, shot, a little bit too high, Relating wave! Actually couldn't put it on target. Seiko puts it further away than it originally was. But Endpoint had a good chance here. They might want to make more of that.
I feel like that from Relating wave was nowhere near the target. I think he just hit Seiko with it, and Rise ready to go. That's done. He's denied by the post. I can't believe this. That was a much better effort by Rise than the one we saw from Relating wave at the other end of the field. Queso not getting it on the right side of that post. These bounces have not been favorable.
This is one of those games where 0-0 is the least likely scoreline to this point. It is the scoreline that we have been given. Joyo just guides the ball out of his own side of the field. Seiko immediately over there. Seiko becoming a lot less flashy as this series has gone on. Just wants to win the challenges, wants to get his team a little bit of territory. Rise ends up missing it, leaves Joyo by himself. Tough position to be in. Seiko caught Metzer off. One of the rare occasions, actually, I think Seiko was not the right decision. Should probably have left that for Metzer, who was in a good spot. Well, there's a shot down. Joyo cuts himself back around. And does get rid of it. Vatira can keep the ball going. Loses the challenge. Back into the midfield. Here's Metzer. It's stopped again, but surely this is going to eventually. It's crossbar a second time.
The shooting simply needs to be better for Endpoint. So many squandered opportunities. And the longer this goes on, the more likely it is that Queso are going to get a breakaway with one of their players. Or two in tandem, with Rise bumping so many times today. Joyo getting so many unpredictable aerial plays. And Vatira simply being Vatira. How long can you do this against Queso? We've seen many teams try, and it does not work often.
This is the best Endpoint have looked in one of these games. Vatira starts to move forward, gets good contact on the ball, needs Rise to help him out. And Rise does exactly that. Now to the opposite side of the field, Rise will look to try and find Metzer, who once again has to play early. They know they cannot let Rise run roughshot in their side of the field. They have to get there quick and avoid those counterattacks, but now it's Rise's opportunity. Gets there, time to spare, looks for the player. Everyone's looking for the player, but it's Relating wave who darts between everybody and finds the space to get rid of the ball.
Yeah, great defense from Relating wave. Looked like a little bit of an early jump on the follow-up from Rise, who was setting up a glorious opportunity for Team Queso. Final 30 seconds. Endpoint have had by far the majority of the chances here, and some that definitely should have resulted in goals. At least shots on target. Here they come again. That's into the post, but there is a follow-up plan. Norris doesn't get the ball into the center.
And still, somehow, we're at 0-0. I have absolutely no idea how it is. But who's got the one miracle play with the last few moments left? Rise. He's up. He's unchallenged for the longest time. Over the top of one. Gets the ball for the second. And Rise might have done it.
He ascends to the ceiling and rises to the occasion. Huge bump after the reset. Outplays the first challenge. And with only a second left, it looks like Queso have done it.
Against all the pressure, against the lower bracket, and against Endpoint, have they done the job they had to do? Yes, they have. Team Queso have got their second tournament victory. They are the Copa de Rocket League champions.
They've done the Endpoint to Endpoint. Endpoint winning 2 regionals in the first split. Now Queso have won 2 in the second split. That is crazy to think. We never expected Endpoint to be that team coming into the season. We never expected Queso to be the team coming into this split. EU, full of surprises as always. But to do it with the lower bracket run that they've just had makes it all the more special. Team Queso, #1 seed, 2-time regional champions, going into their LA Major LAN debut. What a prospect. What an exciting thought. Maybe we'll get to see them produce more unbelievable plays like this on a world stage. And who knows what's going to happen against the other regions. Can any of them get an upset win against Queso? Can NA upset Queso or any of the other EU teams for that matter? Can't wait to find out.
They're going to have to keep an eye on Rise the entire time. My goodness.
He's too wise.
What a way for them to play. 54 games played, undefeated in Game 7s, undefeated over in overtimes, and undefeated in their one singular championship point. What a team this is, and what a step up from them coming from last split. Team Queso full of surprises, and they have secured the tournament victory. To break it all down, Leaf and the Desk are going to take it away.
Was it a surprise, guys? Were we surprised?
We picked it. We predicted it.
I don't think it was a surprise. I think we're just, maybe we're just really smart. That could be it. Queso taking the Copa de Rocket League Championship title here in the third and final winter split regional. They crushed through it. It was a good, valiant fight from Endpoint, though. Subi, they definitely did a great job of giving us a strong series to end it off.
Yeah, certainly. It was definitely fun to watch, but ultimately, Queso in peak form today. And I think something needs to be said about Joyo. Sure, Rise did hit that awesome shot to end the series, and that's on the forefront of our minds. But, Joyo had so many creative plays today where it's like, what? Where'd you figure out how to do that? Just so fun to watch. Great player. Keep your eyes on him in the future.
Maybe from the other one, Vatira, who's also very good. They've all got such amazing ceilings that they can reach, and I think that's what's exciting for this team. They were in that spot where, as 3 individual talented young players, lots of other teams were like, hey, come try out with us. We can pay you loads of money. We can bring you onto this top team and you'll do amazing. And they all went, no. I've got these 2 guys with me who are fantastic at Rocket League also. I want to stick with them and prove to the world why we're the best team. And they've done it this split. First, second, first. I don't think we've seen that level of performance from a team outside of the emerging regions where we see that dominant level of performance. Making every final and winning 2 of them is unbelievable.
I think we're going to see a lot more Mustang Maquis after Joyo's performance this weekend. I've been talking him up. Just the individual plays coming out from him were just so much fun to watch, and he did it consistently. And remember, Queso was a team that didn't start off so well in groups, but boy, did they turn it on that lower bracket run. And I think a lot of it is to do with Joyo this weekend. He was so much fun to watch.
But overall, too, just the play, the mechanical play, Greg, and that we saw throughout this series alone was incredible. Every time I was looking, if you look away for a second, you missed another flip reset. It seemed like almost every single time someone was going for some sort of mechanical play.
Yeah, that's the key to their success is they have a very high hit rate with their mechanics. They're doing things that other people wouldn't be able to do as consistently as they can, and they're often stringing multiple of them together. One person does it, pass it to someone else who then does another mechanical play, and it's so hard to defend against. And that's where teams start questioning, do we even bother going to challenge it, or should we go early so we stop them doing it? And it really makes you second guess whether you can do it, because they do it so fast, and they vary it up, and that's the hardest thing to do as any physical game, any physics-based game. To mix things up and not just go to the same old habits over and over again is so tricky. These guys have all the different tools that they need, and then they mix them up so it's hard to read.
And
so
it felt...
Oh, sorry, Subi, go.
No. Okay, well, it just felt like they had no wasted opportunities. We see a lot of times where players are rotating out of the zone, they're driving right by the ball, and they show nothing. They're just showing, okay, I'm rotating out, I am not a threat at all. Where we see Team Queso, they'll throw a little fake, like, hey, am I going to go for this ball? Am I going to pass it mid? And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, and it just keeps their opponents constantly on their toes. So it's just not so linear with Team Queso. They just have so many tricks in their bag. It's just so fun.
Yeah, I changed my mind. I don't want to talk to Curling anymore. I want to talk to Joyo. Joyo's here. Congratulations,
Hello.
Joyo from Team Queso.
Thank you very much.
On the win.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I want to talk about that for you guys. This was just absolutely stunning to watch. The mechanics we're harping on it was just, it looked like you guys were feeling it today. Was there something that felt different today, or is it just you know, everything just happened to fall in place?
I think today, compared to the rest of the last 2 days in the regional, we had a way better mentality going into it. And I think we just had more fun. And we always play better when we have more fun.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of having fun, it must be incredibly fun to be able to do what you guys can do on the ball. You know, the mechanics you have, it's definitely inspiring for a lot of people at home thinking, how do I get better at the game? Well, I clearly need to be able to do flip resets, musties, double taps all over the place. How do you guys have such good mechanics, and what have you done in practice to make yourself be that mechanical?
I think a lot of trust in our teammates helps us because we're all more confident when we trust each other. Also, for myself, my background is freestyling before I played professionally. So I've always been a freestyler. I mean, Vatira's French, so his mechanics are automatically pretty good.
It's built in.
And Rise has just been working on his individual ability a lot since the end of RLCS, and I know it's been working really well, especially with me and Vatira.
Well, I gotta say, it's been so fun watching you guys this entire winter split, and congrats on making the major. It's going to be great getting to meet you in LA, but I'm wondering, do you guys think you're going to be able to take that fun game style into the major, or do you think nerves are going to get to you? Because there's been a lot of talk about you guys are all rookies, haven't played in live environment. I got to hear it from the man himself.
I mean, I don't think anything can phase us. I think we'll be completely fine at LAN. Obviously, it's a bit of a different environment, but I know that we will be insane at LAN as well.
Yeah, I think that is the expectation. I want to talk about your individual expectation because I know I personally have been talking you up. I don't know if you heard me coming into this. I was saying how well you were playing today. I mean, what is it for you that you just felt like you were so free? I was watching you today. It felt so free on the ball. Why do you think that is? Was it because of your teammates? Is something different that you did today? What was the difference for you?
Today, I think it went really well, especially because before we played, my team just told me, just do what you want. And I always play the best when I just am allowed to do what I want and I'm confident. Also, today I just had a perfect mentality. I always knew that I was going to beat everyone to the ball, and I just would never stop being confident, and that always helped. And also, I played the Mustang.
There it is.
Tell us about the Mustang. Why do you think the Mustang's so good?
I mean, it's just a change. I play Octane and Fennec, and the Mustang's the same hitbox, and I just like how it looks. I don't know. I like making presets, and I change cars a lot. Even like the basic Dominus, Octane, Fennec, I like to change. I think it's just sometimes you feel a random of a car, and you'll never know if you don't try it. Yeah. And I love using the Mustang.
It looks faster, and I'll tell you, you were faster than everyone on the pitch, so maybe there's something to it.
That's true, but regardless, you guys got the dub. No matter how you did it, you did it. And now you guys are going to be setting your sights forward, of course, to that major. Just before I give you the stage to talk here, questions about that major. You know, like what's the plan to prepare for that? What are you guys going to be doing to make sure that you're full ready for that moment?
Just keeping our hours up, talking to each other and scrimming every day just to keep a good mentality and keep our mechanics as good as they were today.
Fair enough. Hey, you know what? This is where I give people the stage. If you want to shout out anything to anybody out there, it's all yours. You got the dub, you got the champion, the crown title today for the Copa del Rocket League. So floor is all yours.
Shout out my team, obviously. They really helped me a lot in this split. They've really done a lot to help me, and I've done a lot to help them, and I think it's great to grow together. Shout out to Nick, our coach. He's there every day, and he's always helping us day in, day out. And also shout out Noah and Skyrix, who are always in our calls every day to keep us motivated. Noah's our sub, and Skyrix is one of Vatira's French friends, and it's really helped our motivation.
That's awesome. That. Good to hear that the team is strong and you guys appreciate each other. Hey, well, go appreciate this win because you earned it. So we're going to let you go. Congratulations, Joyo, on the win.
Thank you very much. Full win.